Hello, welcome back for our weekly wink.
Hello.
Today we're kind of doing a fun topic. Selena Gomez was in the news recently having to have a kidney transplant from lupus, and it made us think that, we know of a lot of people maybe in your life that have autoimmune diseases, or maybe you don't, but we hear about celebrities and their illnesses fairly frequently. People are pretty open about it, and we just wanted to go through some of the autoimmune diseases that some of the famous people you may be fans of have, and talk about what those diseases actually are. Starting with Selena.
We'll start with Selena Gomez and lupus. Now, lupus in medicine is really known as the great pretender, or the great marauder, or the great masquerader. And one of the reasons for that is because lupus can affect literally every tissue of the body. So in Selena's case, it was kidney failure, but lupus can also affect your skin, your heart, your brain, your digestive tract. I mean, really can wreak havoc. Essentially, as with all autoimmune diseases, your immune system becomes really, really active and starts to attack your own healthy tissues. And that can have a wide range of results. So we saw in Selena kidney failure, but some other celebrities that you may not know who also have a diagnosis of lupus include Toni Braxton, Grammy Award winner, and also Lady Gaga has lupus. She was diagnosed as fibromyalgia, and we're going to talk about that on another week, but has now been diagnosed with lupus. So lupus is our first celebrity autoimmune disease.
Right, so lupus attacks a lot of different areas of the body: joints, brain, skin, kidneys, like Dr. Wade said. Sjogren's is a very different type of autoimmune disease. It attacks a very specific part of the body. It attacks kind of the glands that produce wetness for our eyes, our mouth, even our digestive tract, so kind of those mucus secreting glands. And actually, Venus Williams is somebody who suffers from Sjogren's.
Oh my gosh, like a Grand Slam tennis player, and she has an autoimmune disease. I think, to me, part of the, we're not minimizing these autoimmune diseases. In fact, what we want to say is that quite a number of people suffer, but also a lot of really successful people suffer. So a diagnosis of autoimmune disease does not have to be a terminal bad news kind of a label. I mean, on the contrary, there are things that we can do to overcome those autoimmune diseases. But our next bad player in the autoimmune universe is psoriasis. And I bet lots of people know at least one person who has psoriasis. Psoriasis mostly affects, in terms of what you can see, the skin. And so those really thick scales on the skin, they kind of look like fish scales, can happen with psoriasis. But psoriasis can also affect the joints with psoriatic arthritis. And it can also affect some of the softer, wetter tissues as well. And our celebrity with a diagnosis of psoriasis is Kim Kardashian.
So our fourth celebrity autoimmune disease is Graves' disease. We've already talked a lot about Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune form of thyroiditis. With Hashimoto's, the thyroid is underfunctioning. The autoimmune system actually, or the immune system actually prevents the thyroid from doing its job. Graves' is the opposite. Still an autoimmune disease, but in this case, it actually stimulates extra thyroid function. And while that could sound great, you have all sorts of energy, it actually can be really dangerous. Your heart can get so fast, you can have a heart attack. So a lot of times it's treated by removing the thyroid or radioactively destroying the thyroid, which sounds horrible, but can actually be life-saving for somebody with Graves' disease. And our celebrity who deals with Graves' disease is Missy Elliott. Also extremely successful woman out there doing great things, even in the face of an illness.
All right, and our final autoimmune disease and a celebrity that we want to talk about is for Jennifer Esposito, who has a diagnosis of celiac disease. And celiac disease most classically affects the digestive tract, except if you've watched any of our winks before, you know that the gut really is the seat of health for your whole entire body. So while the most obvious manifestation of celiac disease might be the changes that happen in terms of inflammation in the gut, you actually can have celiac changes all over the body. So skin-related changes associated with celiac disease, nerve damage, you can have musculoskeletal, I mean really everywhere, because it starts at the gut. Ultimately, what we do know about autoimmune disease is that you have to have an unhealthy digestive tract. You have to have some triggers in your environment that sort of turn on the switch that the genes, oh, that's number 2. 3. 3 is the genes. Okay, so you have to have a genetic predisposition, but just because an autoimmune disease runs in your family doesn't mean you will get that disease. What you also need to have is a digestive tract that's unhealthy and a trigger that turns all of those things on. And that trigger might be a major illness, it might be a major stressful event, it might even be the antibiotics that you take for, I don't know, your UTI or your strep throat. The triggers are really, really super, super long list. Sometimes they're foods, like gluten has been associated with a lot of autoimmune disease. But the point being that in order for a 3-legged stool to stand, you need all 3 of those legs in place. The genes, the triggers, bad gut. If you heal the gut, if you take away the triggers, the stool can't stand anymore. So anyway, that's our 5 autoimmune diseases with celebrities who suffer from those autoimmune diseases. And you must know that we can take care of it. We can help you out with that. We can help to address parts of the legs of those stools so that you don't suffer. Autoimmunity is not the end of the world.
All right, so like always, if you have a celebrity that you've heard of with an autoimmune disease or you want to ask more questions, please comment. We get to those as fast as we can. We love to hear from you. If you have any more ideas for our weekly wink, we love to hear from you on that too. We want to know, what do you want to know more about? Is there an area of your health? Do you have an autoimmune disease yourself and you want to know, how do I do this? When you talk about diet, what does that actually mean? You know, an area that we can delve deeper into. We would love to give you the information you need. Our goal is to give you bite-sized, really actionable pieces of information so you can be out there in the world making great strides like all the women that we're trying to help. And not only comment, please like, please share, and we will see you next week.
Like, if you're friends with one of those celebrities, why don't you share this video with them? Because we'd love to be able to be helpful for everybody. We know that autoimmune disease so far outweighs, in terms of its damage, women over men. And so, you know, we're trying to shift that around. We're trying to make this all a better, healthier, more well world for women. Yeah, okay.
All right, we will see you next Thursday for the next weekly week.
All right, bye-bye.